most people don't see it coming. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we re-diving into something that's already happening right under your nose. A massive shift in how we live, work, and survive. This isn't some far-off dystopia. This is happening right now in America in 2026. And by the end of this video, you'll see your world completely differently. So stick with me because what I'm about to show you affects your wallet, your freedom, and your future. Let's start with a simple question. What do you actually own? Think about it. Your phone? You're probably paying it off monthly. Your car? Leased or financed? Your house? A 30-year mortgage you'll be paying until you're old. Your software? Adobe, Microsoft, Netflix, all subscriptions. Even your music and movies, you don't own them. You rent access. Here's the kicker. 20 years ago, you bought software once. You bought a CD, you own the music forever. You saved up, bought a car, it was yours. But something changed. Corporations realized something powerful. Why sell you something once when they can charge you forever? And it's not just the big things. Think about this small stuff too. Your doorbell. Ring doorbell requires a subscription to save videos. Your printer. HP has a subscription for ink now. Your thermostat. Nest features require ongoing payments. Even your fitness equipment. Peloton charges monthly just to use the bike you already bought. We've normalized paying forever for things that should be one-time purchases. This creep is so gradual, most people don't even notice. You add one subscription, then another, then another. Before you know it, you're paying hundreds of dollars a month for things you'll never own. Things that can be taken away with one click. This is talking point number one. The shift from ownership to subscriptions. And it's not just about convenience. It's about control. When you own something, you control it. You can modify it, sell it, keep it forever. But when you rent, the company controls it. They can raise prices, change terms, take it away. And you have no say. Let me give you real examples. Adobe Photoshop used to cost around $600. One time. Expensive, yes. But you owned it? Now? That's $660 a year. Every year. Forever. Do the math over 10 years. That's $6,600 for something you'll never own. Or take cars. Companies like BMW tried to make heated seats a subscription. You'd pay extra every month to unlock a feature already built into the car you bought. Tesla disables features remotely if you buy a used car. You physically have the hardware, but they control whether it works. But they're held hostage behind a paywall. Try running a business without Microsoft Office. Try being a professional designer without Adobe. Try getting by without a smartphone and its monthly plan. These aren't luxuries anymore. They're necessities, and corporations know it. They've made themselves indispensable, then turned everything into a subscription. This is the new model. You pay forever, own nothing, and they control everything. And Wall Street loves it. Investors reward companies that trap customers in subscriptions. Your monthly payment becomes their guaranteed profit. Now here's where it gets really interesting and really scary. Talking point number two, AI turns assets into services. Everything you thought was permanent is becoming temporary. In the past, if you learned to code, you had a valuable skill for life. That was your asset. But now, I can code. ChatGPT, Claude, GitHub Copilot, they're doing the work. Companies don't need to hire as many programmers. They just subscribe to AI. Your skill, your asset, just became a service they rent from a machine instead of you. Graphic designers, Midjourney and DALL-E. Writers, AI writes articles, ad copy, even books. Accountants, AI does taxes. Customer service, chatbots. The list goes on. Here's what's wild. In the old economy, but in the AI economy, your skills depreciate. Every month, AI gets better and cheaper. You get more replaceable. Let me give you a concrete example. A junior developer used to start at $60,000, $70,000 a year. They'd learn, grow, eventually make six figures. That was a career path, an asset you built. But now, companies are using AI to write basic code. They need fewer junior developers. The entry-level jobs are disappearing, and the jobs that remain, they're paying less because they know I can do half the work. Same thing is happening in marketing. It used to be, you hire a team of copywriters, designers, social media managers. Now, one person with AI tools can do the work of 5. So companies hire one person, pay them a bit more than they used to pay one person, but way less than they used to pay 5. The workers lose. The company wins. So now you're not just renting your house and car, you're renting your career. You're subscribed to whatever skills happen to be valuable this month, next year. And when I can do it better, you're obsolete. You have to retrain, learn something new. But guess what? AI is coming for that too. It's a treadmill you can never get off. This brings us to talking point number 3. Why renting keeps people permanently poor. And this is the part that should make you angry. Ownership builds wealth. Renting destroys it. When your grandparents bought a house, they built equity. Every payment increased their net worth. After 30 years, they owned an asset worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. They could pass it to their kids. That's generational wealth. But when you rent, every payment disappears. You're paying someone else's mortgage, building their wealth, not yours. Same with everything else. When you subscribe to software, stream music, lease your car, you're in an endless payment loop. You never build equity. You never own. You're stuck on a financial treadmill, running faster just to stay in place. And here's the really insidious part. The system is designed this way. High rent means you can't save for a down payment. Can't save, can't buy. Can't buy, keep renting. It's a trap. Meanwhile, the people who own landlords, corporations, investors, they're accumulating your wealth. Your rent payment is their asset growth. Let me give you the numbers. The average American renter pays about $1,400 a month. No equity, no ownership, nothing to show for it. Now, imagine if that same person was paying a mortgage instead. They'd own a house worth way more than what they paid. That's the difference between building wealth and staying poor. But it gets worse. Rent goes up every year. Your landlord raises it. Inflation, market rates, whatever excuse but your income, that's not guaranteed to go up. So every year, a bigger chunk of your paycheck goes to rent, leaving less for savings, less for investing, less for building anything real, and all those subscriptions, they add up fast. The average American now spends over $600 a month on subscriptions. $600. That's $7,200 a year. Over a decade, $72,000. Money that could have been invested, could have been a down payment, could have been your kid's college fund. Instead, it's gone, evaporated into corporate profits. This is how the middle class gets hollowed out. This is how wealth inequality grows. The people at the top own assets that appreciate. Stocks, real estate, businesses. The people at the bottom rent everything and own nothing. And the gap keeps getting wider. So that raises talking point number 4. Who still gets to own? Because here's the thing. Ownership didn't disappear. It just got concentrated. The rich still own. In fact, they own more than ever. They're buying up houses, farmland, intellectual property, businesses, everything. They're becoming the landlord class, while everyone else becomes permanent renters. Look at what's happening in housing. Big investment firms like BlackRock, Invitation Homes, American Homes for Rent, they're buying up single-family homes by the thousands, entire neighborhoods, not to live in, to rent out. They're turning the American dream of homeownership into a permanent rental relationship. You'll rent from a corporation, not a person. A corporation that can raise rent whatever it wants, that has lawyers and algorithms, that has no soul. In some cities, investors own 20, 30, even 40% of single-family homes. They're outbidding regular families, paying cash, driving up prices, making it impossible for normal people to compete. And once they own the housing stock, they control the market. They set the prices. You have no choice but to pay. And it's not just housing. Bill Gates is now the largest private farmland owner in America. He owns over 260,000 acres. Why? Because the land is finite. It's real wealth. While everyone else is struggling to pay rent, The ultra-wealthy are buying up the physical world. This isn't capitalism. This is neo-feudalism. A new system where a small elite owns everything, and everyone else pays them tribute just to exist. You're not a citizen, you're a subscriber. And if you can't pay your subscription, you're out, homeless, irrelevant. The wealthy understand something crucial. Ownership equals power, control, freedom. If you own your home, no one can kick you out. If you own your skills, your tools, your assets, you have leverage. But if you rent everything, you have nothing. You're vulnerable, dependent, at the mercy of whoever owns what you need. And here's the really dark part. They're fine with you not being able to afford to buy. In fact, they prefer it. Because renters are more profitable than owners. A renter pays forever. An owner pays once. From a pure profit perspective, they want you to rent. They want you dependent. They want you trapped. But there's another layer to this that nobody talks about. The psychological trap of the rental economy. When you rent everything, you never feel settled, never feel secure. You're always temporary. Always one missed payment away from losing everything. This creates a constant state of anxiety. You can't put down roots, can't make long-term plans. Can't invest in your community because you don't know if you'll be there next year when your lease is up and the landlord raises the rent 40%. More willing to pay for quick dopamine hits. More likely to stay in bad situations because change feels risky. It's a form of control. Keep people stressed about money, and they won't have the mental energy to fight back, to organize, to demand better. The house you live in, these are status symbols. But when you don't own them, when everything is rented, you never quite feel like an adult, never quite feel successful, always feel like you're falling short. And that feeling, that's profitable too, because it makes you buy more, subscribe to more, trying to fill that whole purpose, the feeling that you're building something real. And without that, people drift, they give up, they accept that this is just how things are now. Because not everything can be subscribed away. Not everything can be automated. There are still things worth owning, still ways to build real wealth. Yes, housing is expensive. Yes, it's hard to break in. But ownership of physical space is one of the few things that will hold value. Even if you start small, a condo, a plot of land, something, physical assets that can't be deleted or subscriptionized. And if you can't afford property in expensive cities, look elsewhere. There are still places in America where property is affordable. Rural areas, small towns. Remote work makes this possible now. Don't trap yourself in high-cost areas where you'll never own. Persuasion, leadership, creativity that requires human emotion and experience. Physical skills, plumbing, electrical work, construction. I can't fix your toilet. Can't wire your house. Can't negotiate a complex business deal where trust and human intuition matter. These skills are becoming more valuable, not less. The plumber who used to make 40 grand, now making 70 because there's a shortage. Everyone went to college. Nobody learned the trades. And those skills can't be automated. Can't replace the value of being known in your community, your industry, your network. Social capital is an asset that survives. Invest in people. Build real connections. This pays dividends that compound over decades. Learn to use AI as a tool to amplify your work, not replace it. Or better yet, own pieces of the companies building AI, invest in the infrastructure, own the picks and shovels in the gold rush. You don't have to understand the technology to own stock in NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google. You can be on the winning side of this transition. If you can't own the things you use, own the companies that rent them to you. Buy stocks. Build a portfolio. Become an owner, not just a consumer. Even small amounts, consistently invested, compound over time. Put $50 a month into an index fund. In 30 years with compound interest, that's over $70,000. That's the power of ownership. The key is to shift from consumer to owner mindset. Every dollar you invest is working for you, building, growing, creating the freedom you want. The world is changing faster than most people realize. The social contract that existed for your parents, work hard, buy a house, retire comfortably, that's breaking down. The new contract is subscribe to exist, own nothing, depend on systems you don't control. You can invest in skills and assets that last. You can refuse to be a permanent renter. It's harder now, yes, the game is rigged, but it's not impossible. Who understand that everything is trying to turn them into subscribers, and who fight back by becoming owners. Owners of property, of skills, of businesses, of their own futures, your money, your freedom, and the decisions you make today determine whether you're an owner or a renter tomorrow. From ownership to subscriptions, turning your assets into services, renting keeping you poor, the wealthy consolidating ownership, and the only assets that will survive. These aren't separate trends. They're all connected, all part of the same system designed to extract wealth from you permanently. Or are you going to start building real ownership, real assets, real wealth? You won't own your house, your car, or even your skills, and that's not an accident. And subscribe, because we're going to keep breaking down exactly how this system works and how you can escape it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.